Before the topic, I just want you to give the course curriculum. So what exactly topics we'll be teaching in our trainings. Okay. So generally, for learning any cloud technology or for learning any DevOps technology, you need to have some basics. Okay. Generally, for learning the DevOps, you need to have some Linux basic, then the shell scripting, then any of the cloud. Okay, so generally you need to learn those ahead of this training. So but in this training we'll start from the very basics. Okay, we teach you from the Linux basics, then the shell scripting. Okay, then immediately after the shell scripting we will go for the git AWS cloud. Okay, so then after the AWS cloud we'll be teaching you git and github. Okay, next Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Maven, Nexus, Terraform. Okay, Ansible, Prometheus, Grafana, and 2 real-time projects. Okay, so this is the course curriculum of your training sites. So we start with the very basic, with the Linux basics. Okay, so the Linux basics will be around like 4 to 5 days, and the shell scripting will be like 2 to 3 days. Within 1 week to 10 days, we'll be finishing Linux and shell scripting. Okay, then coming to AWS cloud, so which is a major cloud provider in the market. So before you need to get learn into the DevOps, you need to have some knowledge on any of the cloud provider, right? So even if you might aware of Azure or some GCP, then it could be very easier. You can skip this part also. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that if you learn any of the cloud, you can learn another cloud very easily. So in our classes, AWS cloud, we'll be teaching like around 2 weeks to or between 3 weeks, like around 15 to 16 days. We'll be learning on AWS cloud. So if you are good in this AWS cloud, easily you can adopt the GCP or Azure for sure. Okay, then immediately after the completion of the AWS cloud, we'll be getting into Git and GitHub. Okay, it will be like a short topic, like 1 to 2 days. Okay, immediately after the Git and GitHub, we go ahead for the Jenkins, which is a continuous integration tool. It takes like around 1 week. Then Docker and Kubernetes, which is an important container orchestration, which takes around like 15 days. Maven and Nexus are very short topics, which can be winded up in 2 to 3 days. Then Terraform. So I hope you know what Excel Terraform. Like you guys said, Siri said you have learned something from the Edureka, and also one Pawan, you're also from Azure background, right? So Terraform is nothing but generally in any of the cloud, whatever you do, that you will be doing manually. Let us assume you want to create a server. You go to the AWS console dashboard, you create a server manually. But if everything you wanted to do from a point of view, you wanted to write a code and server. So with the help of the Terraform, you can do that. Okay, then come into Ansible, which is a configuration management, which can take like 5 to 6 days. This Terraform and Ansible will take around 2 weeks. Prometheus, Grafana are like the monitoring tools, which take around 2 to 3 days. And coming to 2 real-time projects. So these 2 real-time projects are very key important in our course curriculum, because whatever the tools that we have learned from the starts with the Linux shell scripting basics, AWS cloud to till Prometheus, Grafana, we'll try to integrate all of these tools and technologies and make 2 real-time projects. Okay, so one I will be telling you guys, with doing the practicals daily with one real-time project, and one I will be doing like one assignment with you. Okay, if at all you're having any doubts, you can ask me at any time. I will be helping you out there. Okay, if at all you're not comfortable doing, so I can help you on that.
Yeah, that should be fine, I guess.
Okay, and yeah, so the class will be like around 1 hour. Okay, immediately after the class, you can have the doubt session like around 10 to 15 minutes. You can ask me any doubts regarding all the installation processes, regarding Terraform installation, Ansible installation. We'll be helping you on that. Okay, not at all an issue. So we start with the very basic. You no need to have any prior knowledge before getting into this course curriculum. Okay, because we start with the very Linux basics. Okay, this is what exactly our course curriculum and the teaching we do. And I am a Terraform certified engineer and Kubernetes certified system administrator and also AWS cloud certified solution architect. Okay, this is regarding my profile. One second, one chart is please start this session. Okay. Yes. So let me get into the topic actually. Let me tell you what exactly DevOps is. Okay. By the name itself, you can understand there are two words combined with the DevOps. One is dev, one in ops. Okay. So just give a plus symbol here. Okay. So generally assume whenever you wanted to develop a product into the market, a software product into the market, generally you first and foremost step you need the developers, right? So the developers have to write the code, then they has to put into the production. Production means where we can see the code, where we can see their live site. Okay, that we call the production site. Okay, so the combination, okay, of the development and operations, we call it as a DevOps. So generally, if you search in internet, mostly it can be given as the person who does the development as well as operation can be called as a DevOps, but that is not at all true. One who combines the work of development and operation, one who brings together development and operations team to get your product into the market as soon as possible. That is the person who call as a DevOps engineer. You bring the development engineers, you bring the operations engineer, you combine both of them, okay, to release your product into the market as soon as possible. Okay, this is what DevOps. So let me take an example. Okay, so assuming you are working in a company called the TCS. Okay, so your client is Infosys. Let me give this like Infi. Okay, so assuming you're working in the TCS organization, so you have got a project from the Infosys to develop an application like e-commerce application. Assume like it is like Flipkart, Myntra, some Amazon. Okay, to develop the e-commerce application. So now your TCS, okay, you will be having your management, right? Directors, vice presidents, and your principal engineers. So they had got to know like you have got a project from the Infosys regarding some e-commerce application. So what is the first and foremost step they will do? Okay, they need to plan, they need to design. Okay, these are the requirements of the Infosys to develop the e-commerce application. So from us, from our end, how many engineers do we need, how many team do we need? Okay, assuming 50 members are needed for this so single project, let us divide this 50 into 10 teams. So each team should be having only 5 people. Okay, these 5 people are dedicated to one of the future of the e-commerce application which we are going to develop. Okay, you can take the feature like in any e-commerce application like the Flipkart or Amazon, you can have the one search bar. The search bar can be one of the feature. You will be having your account section, login section. Okay, will be having buy now, add to cart. Like these are the features of your e-commerce application. For every feature you have a team, in each team you have 5 members dedicated engineers. Okay, your management, your upper management decides this. Okay, you can call this phase as a plan, design and the plan phase. Okay, design and plan phase. Okay, what exactly project you have got, how do you need to onboard this particular project? Based on that, you design and you plan your project. This is the first and foremost of generally in any software development cycle we do. If you are in the position of principal engineer or a senior manager level, you take the project, right? You take the project and you plan and design. So immediately after the plan, what is the immediate step, guys? So we have 50 engineers, right, from the 10 different teams. So immediately they need to write the code, right? So they will be writing their code. So these 10 teams, five each from the day, 5 persons from each team. So they will be developing their own feature. So regarding this e-commerce application, they will be developing one of the feature dedicated to their team. Once all the features were done, they will be made as a single application. So developers write their code. Okay. Once the coding phase is done, okay, immediately they need to send into the testing phase. Okay. So let me write this as testing phases. Testing phase. Okay. Once the code has been written by the developers, they had to verify the code. They had to verify some functional testing, unit testing of their code. If this is working fine, then only it has to be sent into production environment. Okay, so here in the testing environment, the QA people, the quality analyst, we have the testing team, right? They check your code, whether your code is quality or not. They try in some of the testing environments. If this is fine, they push into the production environment. So what exactly production environment means? Let me tell you 1 second. Production environment, or you can think it as a client. Also no problem. Okay. So generally, I just open my browser, right? Here you can see, okay, the time and the meet, WhatsApp, YouTube, AWS management, right? So this is something user interface you can see. Okay. This is the application I'm using, Brave browser. Okay. For this Brave browser, this is their production environment. Okay, so whatever the application that they are made, okay, they will be sent into production environment. Means that everyone outside the world, like we can call it as clients, we can see their application. Okay, that phase we can call it as a production environment. If production environment is impacted, means all the client, those who are using their application, has been impacted. Okay, so we have got project from the Infosys. Your upper management has decided to plan and design. Once the plan and design phase is done, then immediately the developers have written the code. Once the code has been written, it has sent into testing phases. Okay, once the testing has been done, it has sent into production environment. Like this is the way generally before getting into DevOps, guys. Before the DevOps has actually come into the picture, this is generally how the software development lifecycle will be there. Okay, so now assuming after you have developed your Flipkart or like some e-commerce application, we call, let us assume our e-commerce application is like crazy. Okay, once you have onboarded your application, your crazy application to the market, everyone is using fine. But after a few days, this Infosys, your client, right? They asked you to, hey, can you add some more features into this? So immediately what you need to, the TCS tells to you, okay, this is fine. And again, you plan and design, again you code, whatever the code that is there, you send to testing phases. How do you send to testing phases? Either coding team has to send to testing phases manually, or the testing phase has to collect the code manually. Then the testing people has to, or there will be like release management team, they have to manually dump all this testing code environment to this production environment. Okay, assuming immediately after the new features are added, there was a bug in the code. So there was a bug in the production. Again, this production team will tell to the Infosys. Okay, so like the clients reports to Infosys. Again, Infosys tells to TCS. Then again, plan and design. Again, we write the code. You can see the difference between the code and the testing to production environment. So one has to collect the code from the coding environment. One has to collect the environment from the testing environment. Like there is a lot of gap between the coding environment to testing environment, as well as from the testing environment to production environment. Okay, generally when the revenue will be generated in any software industry, when you deliver your product into the market very soon, so that you get more customers, you get more business, right? So in the same way, you are developing the code, the developers have written the code within like 10 to 15 days. Again, the testing team has taken very much more time, and deploying this code into the production environment has taken much more time. Then how do you make this reliable? How do you make this process fast? Okay, then the DevOps has come into the picture, guys. Okay, so I'm just giving this as some automation. So what exactly this is? Okay, this is called automation. So between the coding and the testing environment, there's a phase called the automation, and between the testing to production environment, there is a phase called the automation. This comes into the picture when the DevOps has come into the market. Okay, so let me tell you now, assuming you have got a project again, let me recall this once again, and your upper management has decided what exactly you need to do, how you need to perform, you need to change your teams, how you watch team, which team has to do which task. Okay, so once everything was designed and planned, immediately in the coding phase, your developers have written the code. Okay, the beauty of this DevOps automation is immediately after you have written the code, okay, this code will be triggered to the testing team immediately. Okay, that kind of automation will be doing between these phases. Assuming a developer have written some code and you have pushed it to some GitHub or Bitbucket, like nothing but a central repository. Immediately, if this automation find there was a new line of code in the GitHub or the what do you say Bitbucket, it triggers the code and do some automation jobs, then immediately send that code to testing phases. Okay, now the testing team will do the testing phases, testing environment. Okay, immediately after this testing environment does, this automation job takes this particular testing code and directly pushes into the production environment. If there was any issues in the production environment, it immediately tells to the what do you say, this automation job. Okay, then immediately the developers will understand there was a change in the there should be some change in the code, there is something bug. So immediately developers write their code, then immediately this automation job triggers a new code changes, again testing, again automation. So nothing but we make some automation between the coding and the testing environment, and between the testing and the production environment. Okay, so there is more concepts yet to be told regarding DevOps. As this is a demo class, I just want you to understand the raw picture. Okay, this is
Okay.
Satish, I have a question.
yes.
Is the production environment will be taken care by operational team, like whoever changes the infrastructure or whoever do some scripting, or that those are the team that those are the persons that who is going to handle the production environment?
Yes, generally DevOps or cloud engineers will handle the production environments.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So generally, assuming you are working in an organization, okay, you are DevOps, senior DevOps engineer. Okay, so once the developers have written the code from this phase to this phase, enter DevOps or the cloud engineers will take care of this. Okay, you are the responsible. The responsible of a developer is he will just write the code and he will get away. Okay,
Uh,
then from here,
wh-
yes, please tell.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. You can
No
continue.
problem.
Once you're done, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah. Once the developer have written their code, they will just push this code into the GitHub or the central repository. Then it's our DevOps in their job is to make some automations and to trigger the code changes. Once the testing team has done their testing, it has to trigger the testing changes and it has to send it to production environment. So infrastructure changes, automation jobs. In this automation, you can think of the many tools which I have told you. Okay, these are the tools and technologies we have, right? These are the tools and technologies that will be coming under this automation task. Yes, Siri, please tell.
Yeah, my question is, when the code is developed by the developers, so it was sent to the testing team, the right next after the code is developed, right?
Yes.
So when they are testing, if the bugs are, if they'll find out the bugs, right? So and so code is not working, so and so, thing is not working over here, so something is wrong. Then immediately, whatever the error the testing team has found out, that has to go back again to the developers, or it is going to be handled by the operation team.
No, that will be handled by the developers. Or the testing.
Okay. Okay.
We deal with only production and the DevOps automation job, automation task. How fast we release the product into the market. Because the testing team has found there are some errors, so that might be of the developers, not with us, right? So developers has to take care of that. Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes, please.
So what we find in the, suppose in the production we find an error, so will it go back to developers for testing?
Yeah, when we find any error in the production environment, it should be immediately reverted to the coding phase. So then the developers understand there was a bug related to our code, so they will make the changes. Once they make the changes in the code, immediately this automation job triggers the changes. Hey, there was a changes in the code, we need to trigger that code change. Then immediately send to testing, then automation, then production environment. So this will be like a loop, guys. This will be like a pipeline loop.
Is there any chance that developers will put a pressure on that when we are when we develop the code and it went to the testing team, so we didn't find any errors, but when you guys are doing it, so we do find some that is not working for you, then what's the thing that they are going to do at that time?
That is not working means those kinds of scenario will not be happen, because we have developed the code, testing is done. So now what your task is, assuming you have entire code, you have a application, you want to host that application. For that you need the infrastructure. Okay, assuming in AWS cloud you want to create a server, in that particular server you want to host this. Okay, so even in this production, before getting to production environment, after this automation job does, we'll be having again 3 environments, Siri. Okay, so we'll be having 3 environments. Let me give you small pictures here. So in this automation job only, we have 3 environments. One environment is dev. Okay, one environment you can think as stage. One environment we can think as production. Even when the testing team has done their code, we'll be sending into development stage, and the same code will be sent into staging phase, and the same code will be also sent into production. So nothing but before getting the actual code into the production environment, we will test that in the development environment and the staging environment. This will be tested by the DevOps engineers only. So we'll be having 3 kinds of environments. Okay. Hello.
Okay, Satish, I got your point.
Okay.
It's clear.
Yeah, this is one thing regarding DevOps. A raw example I have given. There is much more to learn regarding what exactly automation comes here. Okay. So let me tell you something about the cloud. Okay, a raw example. So generally in the market, cloud is very famous. Cloud has a much demand. Even the DevOps also has much demand. This is having the high boom and having the high salaries, everything, right? So this is very true. But coming to cloud also true. So generally, if someone says what exactly cloud means, you can just think as anything over the internet. You wanted to create anything, but that is over the internet, that you can think as a cloud. Okay, assuming there is one text editor. I have created one text editor here. Here I'm writing, hey, hi students. Okay, I have written something. I have written this in my local laptop. Okay, if I write this something in the any of the internet by using the internet, you can think it as a you're making use of some cloud environment and you're writing that. It's a raw example. Okay, so now coming to the what exactly how the cloud will be used. Okay, assuming let's take your names only as example. Okay, this is your personal computer, assuming. Okay, so let me see the names once again. Yeah, I recall now, guys. Okay, this is your PC, guys, personal computer. Okay, assuming you are a developer, you are very enthusiastic of developer. You write the code, you are passionate about the technology, so you develop your code. So out of curiosity and interest, you have developed an application. Okay, assume you have developed an application called a crazy application. Okay, this crazy application is like assuming this is similar to Facebook or some Amazon Myntra e-commerce application. Out of curiosity, you have developed this application and you have hosted this application into your personal computer. Okay, so what is the specification of your personal computer? Assuming this is having 8 GB of RAM. Okay, this is having 8 GB of RAM. This is having 500 GB of hard disk. Okay, this is having 2-core CPU. Okay, these are the hardware specifications of your personal computer crazy of your personal computer in which crazy application was hosted. One second. In which your crazy application was hosted. Okay, so here, so these are the hardware specifications of a crazy computer. Assuming why did you create the crazy application? Just because out of curiosity, you're a developer, you have done this. But after a couple of months, let's assume your crazy application has become very crazy in the market and everyone is trying to hit your application only. They found more than the Flipkart and Amazon, they found your application only the many advantages. Okay, like daily there are like 100 people are trying to connect your application. Okay, so when 100 people are trying to connect application, still your server is stable. Guys, let's remember, you even if your computer, your personal computer, system, server, EC2 instance, virtual machine, node, these are like synonyms of a server. Either you can call a server, you can call a node, you can call a machine, you can call a system, you can call a machine. That's no problem. Okay, so let me call this a server. So in your personal computer server, you have hosted crazy application. So there are like 20 to 50 people who are trying to use your application daily. Okay, so these are the specifications are enough, are stable with this 20 to 50 traffic that hitting daily your application. Let us assume on the big billion days, assuming on the December 31st and January 1st, your crazy application has put on some offers. Let us assume the offer is like if you buy anything more than the 5,000, you'll be getting 1,000 coupon offer. So the products, whatever the worth of 5,000, if you buy, you'll be getting with 4,000 rupees only. So during those 2 days, suddenly like more than 10,000 people were trying to hit your crazy application. Okay, because they found this offer is very good. So let us try to buy something from the crazy application. So immediately what happens, as 10,000 traffic is trying to hit your crazy application, whatever the hardware specification that your personal computer is having, those all resources will be consumed, right? Okay. So once this 8 GB is full, 8 GB is filled by your application, immediately what happens, your particular crazy application will be down. Why it will be down? Because this crazy application is hosted in your personal computer. This is having only this amount of specification. Okay, so as these all hardware specifications are being consumed, the persons who were trying to hit your crazy application, they say like, okay, I cannot access this. That's why if you go to any banks during some peak hours, hello, yeah, so let us assume you have got some 10th results or MCET results. So during that time, the number of people hitting that particular website will be a lot, right? That there will be more traffic. That's why you can see the server is disconnected. Okay, so some people say there is no server disconnected, right? So nothing but more than expected traffic is trying to hit your application which was there in one of the server, and the server is having the very less hardware specification, and those hardware specifications are already being consumed by this application. So you can take your mobile also an example. If your mobile is having like 4 GB or 6 GB of RAM, you are playing PUBG, you are scrolling some Instagram reels and something else. Okay, again you wanted to open the YouTube in the background. So already your 4 GB to 3 GB RAM was being consumed by a lot of application. If you open once again, what happened, your laptop might struck, your mobile might struck, right? In the same way, your crazy application also cannot reachable to others. So immediately what you need to do, you have to go to the market. Okay, You have to go to the market. You need to buy one more personal computer. Assuming we have bought two more personal computers. Okay. Again, you install this crazy application here. Let me give this something called C only as for the crazy application. Okay. So whatever the traffic that is trying to hit your crazy application, we can route some of the traffic to this server and some of the traffic to this server. In this way, we can balance some of the load. But assume you have put lot of money to buy these two personal computers and you have went into the market, you have put your time effort to install the operating system. Once again, you have to give your time again to replicate this crazy application into these servers. Again, you have to give your time and effort, right? It takes a lot of time and effort, and it is also a cost thing. Okay. Assuming immediately after this big billion days, the offer is expired, from 10,000 or 1 lakh users to it fall back to again 10 to 20 users daily. Again 10 to 20 users, they were trying to hit your application. Then what is the use of these two personal computers? This one personal computer is much more enough. This is far enough for the traffic that you are getting. So for this all thing, you need a space, you need you need a room, you need to keep your all servers in a single room. This has to be connected over some internet connections, wide network. So you need some physical space, you need time and effort, you have to pour a lot of money, right? Okay, then the cloud has come into the picture, guys. Okay, with the cloud, we have many actually. There are many cloud providers in the market. Like there are many products which provide the cloud. Okay, some of them are AWS, Azure, GCP. Okay, the vast provider, like the biggest provider for the cloud is AWS. Then Azure and GCP comes to the picture. Like more than 60 to 70% or 70 to 80% organization use the AWS as their cloud provider only. So the beauty of cloud is you do not buy all the servers. You just tell to the AWS cloud, hey, I need 4 servers. Okay, so that I will be hosting my application. Can you just provide me 4 applications here at AWS? Then what exact AWS tells you, right? Hey, okay, Siri, you have requested 4 servers, right? I can provide you that, but I will be charging you on that regarding your servers. Then I ask, hey, what is the charge for that? Then AWS will be telling based on the rental basis. Whatever you pay, whatever you use, just pay only that. Assuming you have used those 4 servers for 1 or 2 hours, okay, for only that particular time, whatever the usage that you do, you have to pay for only that. This agreement you can call it a paper rental basis. You pay for only what you use. Okay, immediately after this particular big billion days offer is gone, offer is over, you can just terminate the servers. So then there will be no charges incurred to you. How many hours, how many days you have used your particular servers, for those particular time only you will be getting your charges incurred. So that's the beauty of the AWS. So here you can save a lot of time. Okay, you can create the servers within 30 seconds to 1 minute, guys, just believe me. So generally, if you want to create a server, you need to have a personal computer, you need to have some install the operating system, right? It will take like around 1 hour or 2 hours for buying all of this thing. Okay, but coming to AWS, any of the cloud, you just request them. It provides like in 30 to 1 minute. So whatever the operating system you want, you can ask them, they will be providing. So there will be some option where we have to configure ourselves. Okay, for every
Uh, uh,
we'll be getting the billing. Yes, someone is asking us, please go ahead.
yeah, I have a question. So, what's the size of a server? Like, suppose we have the system has a 8 GB of RAM, right? So, what's the size of a server? Like, it has any specific
It can
sizes
be,
there,
it
or
can be any. So generally, we have different types of servers in the AWS. Okay, it starts with 1 GB of RAM. It goes to 130, 140 up till as far as I know. Okay, but there are many big servers where you can put off. Or else, if that particular server is also not capable of doing your task, you can replicate the servers, right? You can replicate the servers within no time. As far as I use it is like 64 GB or 128 GB of RAM I have used by myself. The 32 core CPU was used by my organization for some so and so applications. Okay, so there is no need to worry. We can create multiple servers within no time. Whatever the specifications you want, there will be already some list downs. They will be telling, hey, we have 2 GB of RAM and 20 GB of hard disk and 1 core CPU. Do you want this or you want some other things? There will be drop down. You have to just select that. You have to just select the operating system, what exactly you want. Okay, so how much GB of hard disk you want, you will just give the specifications there. Immediately on behalf of you, Amazon creates their own servers for you, so there you can deploy your application and you can work on. Okay, any doubts on this, guys? Yeah, this is a course curriculum. If you want, let me tell you once again. So we starts with the Linux and the shell scripting basics, guys. This will take like around 1 week, and coming to AWS cloud, we take this around 2 weeks. Okay, GitHub, which is a very short topic, which we can wind up in 1 or 2 days. Like Jenkins, one of the continuous integration tool. Okay, which is very important. We work on this like around 7 to 10 days. Then Docker and Kubernetes, which is like a container provisioning tool, which is an important tool, which has high demand in the market. Okay, we take this like this around 10 to 15 days, guys. Regarding Maven Nexus, which is a short topic, which we can wind up in 2 to 3 days. Then coming to Terraform is the infrastructure as a code. Whatever you do in the AWS cloud manually, click options. So you do everything with the code that is called the Terraform infrastructure as a code. Whatever the infrastructure that you are creating in AWS code manually, that will be doing with the help of the Terraform via code. This will be learning like 1 week. And coming to Ansible in configuration management tool, this will be also taking like 7 days to 10 days. Coming to Prometheus and Grafana, these are the two monitoring tools. What are the applications that you are hosted in which servers, that should be monitored via Prometheus and Grafana. This will be taken like 2 to 3 days. Coming to how two real-time projects will be explained in the class means, whatever the tools and technology that we have been learning, like starts with the Linux to Grafana, will combine all of these tools and technologies and will make two real-time projects, guys. Okay, no need to have any prior knowledge when coming attending this training session. We'll start from the very basics. You no need to have any knowledge, no need to have any coding knowledge, no need to have any prerequisites on Linux or cloud or any DevOps videos. You just come with an empty mind. We'll teach you from the very scratch. Okay,
Okay.
so
And
Uh,
yes,
you
one
can
more.
go ahead.
yeah,
You
go
can go
ahead.
ahead, Navya. No.
Okay.
You are the first person. You can go ahead.
Okay. So, so we in our local system, like we need to we need to have a operating system of Linux.
No. So there are many things that will be helping you to install. So we have VirtualBox, we have VMware Station, right? So from the
Oh,
virtual,
okay.
we can create the Linux servers, and from there you can practice. And even we have
Oh,
AWS Cloud, right? For just practicing Linux and shell scripting for 1 week, we need a virtual server that I will be helping you to set up. Once we start with AWS Cloud, we create all the servers from the cloud only. So there is no need to change any of your operating system at all.
so what I heard from the in the market, they're asking like a for the DevOps engineers or anything, they require the Python script something. So we don't require the Python for the DevOps thing.
Yeah. If you wanted to make some day-to-day activities as automation, assuming like every day after your work hours around 6:30, around 7 p.m., you want to take up the backup of your server. Okay, generally you go to your AWS cloud, you take the image and you take the backup. If you want to make that automation, you can use a shell scripting. Okay,
Okay.
before and you can use shell scripting, you can use a Python script, you can use the Golang, you can use JavaScript also. Okay, but in most of the organization you make use of the shell scripting. If you're comfortable in Python, you can also work on the Python. Okay,
Okay.
just
Thank
to do very minimal task, we need like is some basics of the shell scripting and the Python scripting. Okay, but in our classes mostly we cover the tools and technologies, not the Python and the more of the shell scripting, because that is very easy, which you can learn on the internet. And I will be providing you some PDFs where you can learn shell scripting and the Python also.
And question, Satish, are these all AWS other than like GitHub, Jenkins, Docker? all these topics are interrelated to each other, or they are, everything is new, every tool is new. I
Yeah,
mean, they're not at all related to each other.
every tool is new, but we have to integrate each and every tool. GitHub should be integrated to Jenkins. Jenkins should be integrated to Maven Nexus. Maven Nexus should be integrated to Docker and Kubernetes. Docker and Kubernetes should be integrated to Prometheus, Graph, and Ansible. So we have bunch of tools where we have to integrate all these tools. Then only there should be like DevOps lifecycle. Then only we can deliver the product. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Yes. Okay.
I got it.
So no need to worry, guys. The class will be like 1 hour, right? 1 hour or 2 hours. So mostly everything will be practical. Around 5 to 10 minutes, I will be just telling you the concept, just drawing some pictures like this. So immediately after the concept, we will be doing the practicals. Okay.
Okay. And how long the entire course takes? It's a month, Satish, to cover all the topics and everything?
45 days. 45 hours.
45. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Like, are you comfortable on weekday trainings or weekend trainings? If weekday training means every day there will be like 1 hour. So starts with the Monday to Friday. If it is a weekend, on Saturday, Sunday, we can have 2 to 2 hour session. That could be also good. Okay. So you can just share your thing.
Okay. Are you gonna take for the same timings, or a bit later is also fine? I mean, like 11:30, 12 p.m. for me here is also works for me. That is also fine. Even it's working days, weekends doesn't matter for me. But it's up to you how comfortable you are.
Yes, we will discuss that.
Okay, sure.
SSIT Software Online Training. So can you take up this now? From my side, it's done. Yes, that's all, guys, from my end. Take care. Bye. See you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Satish. It's too clear. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm Abhi. Yes. Yes. Bye.
bye.